everybody, this is Salvi here with the VTuber news coming right up for you. Before that, of course, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell, and the like button as well, and let's get right into it. We have some news about Matara, some updates about what's been going on with her, and of course, she used to be a VTuber with VShojo. She separated from VShojo a while back, a bit ago, before the VShojo whole thing, imploded, and of course, this is VShojo, the company. We have some information for you guys based on what she has been saying here, and it is just gonna let you know it's some sad stuff, but I do want you to know what's going on with Matara. Let's take a look at her, and I'm just gonna make sure it's not too fast for you.
With yet, so even if I did tell some of the other members some of what was happening with me, for a lot of them it's like, okay, I'll keep an eye out, or thank you for telling me, but hasn't happened to me, which I do not, that's normal, right? And then at some points I just felt like I was so crazy because every day there would be stuff with my stuff, right, where we would be having lawyer calls and I would be getting ghosted and things would not be moving along, and I would be so frustrated. But I can't tell you on stream because I'm a for doing that, right? Like, how dare I'm breaking confidential things by saying,
by decree,
just be more patient, like they're working hard kind of thing. And even at a certain point when I'm talking to the other girls, right, like I don't also want all our conversations to be me complaining about. So it was a really isolating time. And the worst part of it all, I think they could have maybe gotten away with it. But yeah, it's just, I'm glad that things are changing and things are moving, but I'll feel better when I think more time passes. But people are dealing with it, but it's basically my word versus the big boys. So who are you gonna trust, right? And I'm just happy that, yeah. But I think it's gonna be a while, and I know that I'll be in a better place. And again, like, I'm talking to the girls about a lot of projects. I have a lot of ideas for conventions and other things that I want to do. There's a lot of really, really cool stuff we want to do and a lot of things we want to try. But it's gonna be a bit. I definitely have a little bit of a shorter fuse at the moment. I have a harder time like bouncing back. I was telling Junie about this, like usually if something kind of bad happens, I bounce back pretty quickly. And I've noticed I've just been having like a slightly harder time bouncing back quickly at the moment. So, but that's normal. That happens. I talk about things on my time, right? Like when the situation happened, everybody wanted like people to talk about it, right?
And she continues going on. I'm gonna, because she goes on for another 20 or so minutes. She does have a lot of things that she mentions here. She does let out a lot of stuff, which is good. It's very good. Of course, there are going to be people who are going to be like, oh my god, why is she doing this on main, blah, blah. She's been hurt. And so have a lot of the other girls. That's why I have been putting out these pieces of content in regards to them. It is good for her to let this out and not let it fester and not let the bad guys, in this case VShojo, win, because if you stay quiet, then the bad people who did the bad things end up winning because their bad deeds do not get put out into the, the face of everybody, not get put to light, and they they continue to win in the darkness. She does mention that there's, legal stuff, and she was also trying to get, she mentions later, she's trying to get her visa for, conventions and things like that, which is one of the reasons why she was trying to stay quiet. She didn't want them to sabotage her visas for conventions, her visas for other things. Sometimes US and other countries can be kind of weird if you're in some legal disputes with companies in there. They can be a bit protective, protectionist with the companies themselves. She also felt very gaslit, and she felt like she was getting schizophrenic, that she was over imagining things, over complicated things, making things a little bit too big for what they were. She was pretty much being gaslit. She was pretty much being gaslit into thinking, making herself believe that it was not so big by the bigger people. And when she mentioned the big guys versus her, meant like in VShojo, who are you going to believe? The people who are, who your bosses, who know all this stuff, or some person who's just deciding to complain? I don't think any of the girls who knew her were going to think that way, but that is a fear that people will have. She did feel isolated due to everything that was happening. Her projects were getting sidelined, seemingly only for her. I do remember Giga mentioning before, she didn't mention this here, but this is just a tidbit from what I remember Giga mentioning in one of her recent streams, that she had already been thinking of leaving VShojo. Giga, there were things she didn't like. Not necessarily fully leaving, but once she found out what they did to Matara, that was what really cemented her, like, nope, this is not a good company. This is not the company I want to be a part of. They have way too many things that I don't like. Once she found out they did all of these things, to Matara and more, like more things that Matara isn't even mentioning. She decided, I'm out. That's one of the things that made Giga leave, from what I remember her saying. People also thought that it had to do with the WME, because she's part of WME, a large talent agency that has huge Hollywood stars as a part of it. If you remember, she joined that while in VShojo. So people thought, it was her wanting to go with them instead of VShojo, things like that. People were postulating a lot of things that were wrong. She does express, though, gratitude for her support, for the support that she's been getting at cons, at everywhere. People saying, hey, you are so strong for doing this. You're so strong for speaking out. You're very strong for being able to take all this and still keep going. All of the wonderful things that have been happening. Of course, she's also going through therapy on her own, which in these things, I always recommend that. Therapy can be a blessing. It's not for everybody, but therapy can definitely be a blessing when you are in these types of bad situations. It can help you work through the trauma that you are going through. Let's see what people say here. Fuming at the revelation of Matara being gaslit so badly she thought she was developing schizophrenia. I am livid. This is legit psychological torture. Hearing Matara cry fills me with anger. It's more like hearing your mom cry or your big sister cry. Matara apologizing for not being able to recover as quickly is like someone apologizing for not recovering enough from being hit by a car twice. I wish she wouldn't feel so bad. But Matara, here's the thing with Matara. She is such a sweetheart. She is someone who believes in, keeping fans happy, keeping her problems out of the fandom and out of things like that. Of course, like I said, when you let evil lurk in the dark and you don't bring them to light, then they will thrive. They're like roaches. They'll fucking thrive in the darkness. If you bring them to the light, they'll scurry. But if they're in the darkness, they'll thrive. So I'm glad that she's doing this. And this is all I have for this part. Didn't want to make it too long. I could make it freaking 20, 30 minutes if I wanted to, but I'd rather keep it short for you guys. Either way, though, one thing I will say personally, it hurts to see this happen to her. It personally hurts to see someone get hurt this badly, a sweet person like her. And I'm glad that she's doing better. And I do hope that she has tons of success in the future. A little bit of news of Henya and Mamanya specifically. As you may or may not remember, I am going to, of course, mention it here. On the 23rd of August, she mentioned that her mom was taken to the hospital and, being treated well, all that kind of stuff. She also went on stream and told a little bit of the story of what was happening with Mamanya and that she was, barely starting to be able to eat, that type of thing, all that kind of thing. I believe it was that. But basically, she went through the whole thing, being treated well. Her mom's on, I think, blood pressure medication and things like that. I don't know if it was related to that kind of stuff, that kind of thing. So here we go. Mamanya's out of the hospital. Thanks for all the support and kindness to Mom, Dayo. And here is Mamanya here, and Henya as well. Henya's looking like a little scamp right there. But she's out. It's a happy moment. It is out. She is out. She's happy. She's doing her thing. Now that I remember one little thing that she said is that in the hospital they didn't believe that she was their daughter because if you remember, Papanya is there's an American Papanya, which is her birth father, and then there is the Papanya that is, I think, Japanese Papanya, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they didn't believe that she was Mamanya's daughter because she got the American Papanya's stuff more than anything. So yeah. So it's like, you don't look like her. Are you really her daughter? That happens. That happens even here in the US. But still, main thing is happy to see that Mamanya's back. And it is a load off of Henya, I bet. So I'm glad. Monet is a English VTuber, a female English VTuber with V4Mirai. She was with Ko Maria, Yayagari, Biscotti, Petalite. Biscotti is off into the nether, into the ether. And you can hear that voice again. It's like they never left in a certain company. But this is neither here nor there. We're talking about V4Mirai today and Monet, who is going to be taking a break. She's going to be back on September 22nd. She's going to go on a family trip. Be back soon with lots of stories to share. So this is not a bad hiatus. This is not a euphemism for something else like family trip. It being a family trip being something else. No. It is basically she's actually going on a family trip. There's not any oh my god, things are going horrible for me from Mirai. No. It says there's video on my YouTube scheduled for every Monday and Friday. Starting tonight, there'll be 24/7 feed of my VODs at SciTube/r/Monet. See you soon. Love ya. And here we go. Internet access and stuff. So I'll drop my Discord. I'll still post here on Twitter often. But just wanted to let you know about the vids and the SciTube. forget vacation mono, take care and make some awesome memories, have fun. Everyone is, of course, making sure that she understands, have fun, enjoy yourself, do that kind of stuff. And it may be hard for people to, not be with their Oshi for a bit, but it is nice that they are actually taking time to have some family time. That is what's important more than anything. Mythos, or Mythos HQ, which is the VTuber agency that does pretty much gender bend Greek and Roman gods and goddesses. Basically, if it's a goddess, they'll make it a male. If it's a god, they'll make it a female. Or sometimes they keep the female gods as female. But a lot of times they gender bend them. And they do a really good job at it, because they have good designs. They have had, of course, some people leave recently, which is fine. It happens in every agency. But right now, they had been announcing that they were going to be having auditions, open auditions. Careful mortal, keep lingering in my halls, and I might just not let you leave. Only one day left until auditions for newest wave of goddesses open. So, I don't know what they mean by goddesses, because goddesses as in like females, getting females in is a thing that they do, of course. In the sense of they're going to be male gods. Like in the pantheon, there'll be male gods, but females in the end of the stuff. So I think that's what they're doing in this case. Mythos auditions are now live. Good luck with all the applicants. There's the form there. The reason why I'm mentioning it at all is because there have been some things mentioned before about strong non-competes there. And of course, living in a place like myself, living in California, non-competes are non-enforceable. As in, unless they pay me to not compete with them, as in give me a stipend or give me a as I leave, they give me some kind of compensation for the time that they don't want me to compete with them. They cannot actually enforce a non-compete in the state of California, from what I understand. So for me, it wouldn't be hard for me to go in there. The non-compete is not viable in California, so that would be something that I wouldn't have to worry about. But I have heard, I think Hermes mentioned it, or some others mentioned it in Mythos, that there is a strong non-compete within Mythos as well. I think that's mainly for, usually non-competes are for other companies. But even in the VTuber world, it's really dumb to do non-competes, because why stop someone from being able to do what they want to do? That's just my 2 bits on the whole thing. But for anyone going into the Mythos auditions, 100% have it checked by a lawyer. Every single time you have a contract, whether it be for VTuber organizations or wherever, have it checked by a lawyer. That will save you from being in a bad place, from being in a bad company or bad contract. Not saying Mythos is, but sometimes companies put a lot of things in there, as we've seen recently with the VShojo contract leak. They put a lot of things in there to protect themselves, and you really, really have to know what you're signing. Namie, or Nambarimas, recently did a Miku / Sonic art here. Amazing art that they do. You may or may not know them as some big member, a former member of council. Of course, if you let them know that, you might get banned, so be very careful about that. But yes, they are Namie. They will forever just be Namie at this point. That is who they have been for over a year now. I think it's almost 2 years at this point. They've been that way for a while. So, see them as that. The only reason why I mention anything else is because some people may not know. Some people will be like, where did she go? And now that you can find her, enjoy her. Just, of course, like I said, keep Namie as Namie stuff. But the reason why I'm doing this was not because I wanted to tell you guys that, but because Shachi, who is another ex-Blue Dorito company member, and Namie have had some wonderful little interactions here. And the duality of VTuber Twitter is right here. You have Namie and them having this fun, and then Otocrony saying, Iris, I'm going to blank you. That is the duality of VTuber Twitter right there. Kind of a little bit of a funny and a little bit of an interesting thing there, just showing how weird everything could be. Fantastic Reality, if you remember, was something in July during Anime Expo that happened. It was a groundbreaking mixed reality 3D event. It had Made Mint, and a bunch of other people there to kind of have a 3D whole thing. I believe also we had a lot of other big VTubers, as shown here. We had Iron Mouse. You had many other folks. Cottontail VA, tons of other people. Koff, I think, was there as well. So yeah, you had tons of people there having fun, doing their 3D stuff. And they are having their VOD available for purchase at SPWN, so you can watch it afterwards. And of course, they also set a new record, an FR record, fantastic reality record, for the number of times you use a variation of the word official in a single post. Please clap. That's a little bit of a funny thing, of course. But this is the ticket that you can buy for Fantastic Reality for the live streaming. The streaming tickets, you know, you can still get that for seeing the stream itself. A lot of times afterwards, you may not want to actually buy it. It's up to you. It is on SPWN events. And of course, if you want to figure out where it is, you can go to Fantastic Reality or FR Productions on Twitch. Not Twitch, I mean Twitter. I do hope the best for them. It was an amazing event from what I was able to see, from what people were telling me. It was an amazing event. So I do wish them success in this the purchase of those tickets. That way, you know, they get a little bit more for next year, maybe. Fubuki, the fox friend of hololive, friend not wife, we have them here today because they are talking about Storyteller, a song that they created in December 24th of 2024, and it is something very close to their heart. It is on their main channel. It has already gotten 1 million views, and that is what they are celebrating at this moment. It says, from now on, while looking back on this song, I want to stay true to myself, pursue what I want to do, and make my dreams come true. Thank you so much for listening to it a lot. So this is amazing for anybody. Anybody, whether you are in hololive, not in hololive, in another agency, whatever. This is a big, important step for everybody, and anybody that is able to get an original out there. It's great to see. Of course, you have IMA, you have Mio there, you have everyone else where they're just singing and having fun, and they're just doing their things. So yeah, a little bit of that I wanted to show you guys, because it is great that she was able to have this, showing her steps through her whole career. It looks like everything that she's done, the people that she's met, the stories that she's told, the songs that she's sung, and the performances that she has had in front of everybody. And this is a emotional thing for her and for her fan base, because it is a long struggle. It is a hard struggle, whether you're in an agency or not. It is a hard struggle to move from nothing to something in the VTuber industry. Welcome back to the VTuber Showcase, everyone, where I like to showcase up-and-coming VTubers of various sizes, shapes, forms, types, everything in between. I do this because I want it to be a positive space, a space where we can help VTubers as much as possible. Today, we are doing OctoButter, OctoXButter, Gummy Octopus VTuber, Twitch affiliate, content creator, and they do have a 2.0 model recently. Let's take a look at their Twitch. Welcome to the puddle. I'm Octo. Before you jump in, don't forget your floaties, watch for sharks, and remember, fish are friends, not food. Let's take a look at
We're going to be playing Mecha Break here in a minute. I'm a little late to stream. Just a little bit. We're not going to talk about it. It's just a little bit. What? What? Don't worry. I'll take away his titties when we go to play. And when does Val get... He's got it right... Look! He got it right now. Here's his pickle. Don't worry, guys. He likes it when I play with his pickle.
Wait, what?
Don't worry, guys. He likes it when I play with his pickle.
The hell? Of course you had to say that. Of course, of course. And here we have OctoXButter on YouTube as well, having a little bit more short form content when it comes to, you know, little things here and there, spicy little pieces, clips, things like that. This takes a lot longer than you would expect. I've done it before. I did it for years. From the streams, taking a long stream and getting like 7-minute clips from it can be a lot, unless you actually are like, okay, this is one part that I'm gonna clip. You actually put like little pieces and mark where you want to clip things. It can be a long process to do. I've done it before, and it could take for an hour of stuff to cut it down to the right size. It could take over an hour itself. So that is a lot of process. And thank you so much, OctoXButter, for allowing me to showcase you on my channel. I do hope this helps you in some way. Thank you guys for watching, as always. And of course, take a look, and if you enjoy everything, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, all those things that YouTube asks of you. Really do appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.